It's Tuesday, December 20. In the headlines, monkeypox and COVID-19 infection levels remain low. In business news, we take a look at the journey between the DigiWallet and UNICEF. Regionally, details on UNICEF Belize and Embassy of Japan's health partnership. On the international scene, lawmakers recommend filing charges against Donald Trump. And in sporting news, a study shows Qatar received an unprecedented storm of negative coverage since being awarded the World Cup. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I am Maya Chung. Jamaica's monkeypox and COVID-19 infection levels remained low as the Ministry of Health and Wellness continues efforts to curtail the virus's spread across the island. Carla Thomas Hewitt tells us more.
Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said that as at December 15, there were 18 confirmed cases of monkeypox, with only one being active. According to Dr. Tufton, 16 of the 18 were locally transmitted. This means that the government will have to do contact tracing in the wider population. Dr. Tufton said that this would be at least where those persons were in contact with other persons. Dr. Tufton said the fact that Jamaicans have had significant recovery is an indication that the ministry and the team would have done what needs to be done to address and to control the issue. Dr. Tufton provided the details during a recent end-of-year press conference at the ministry in New Kingston. He further indicated that the ministry continues to capture and monitor COVID-19 infections through its National Surveillance Unit. With the negativity rate of 2.8%, Dr. Tufton said the total COVID-19 death count stands at 3,452, with 349 still under investigation, and another 295 deemed coincidental. The Health Ministry indicates that between December 6 to 12, Jamaican health authorities confirmed 42 new cases, bringing the nation's total case count to 152,711. Data indicates that approximately 96% of deaths confirmed since the vaccination program began are persons who were unvaccinated. Within this context, Dr. Tufton urged the public to make use of the available COVID-19 vaccines, noting that the national coverage now stands at 27.2%. Director of Health Services in the ministry, Dr. Melody Ennis, disclosed that more than 400,000 doses of Pfizer vaccines are in stock. The director revealed that approximately 200,000 doses of Sinopharm and approximately 70,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccines are also available. Persons are encouraged to visit health centers listed on the ministry's website to receive their vaccine. For the news on PBCJ, I am Carla Thomas Hewitt.
Almost 500 million people will develop heart disease, obesity, diabetes, or other non-communicable diseases NCDSs attributable to physical inactivity between 2020 and 2030. This is expected to cost $27 billion annually if governments do not take urgent action to encourage more physical activity among their populations. In this week's Living Healthy report, the World Health Organization, WHO, highlights the high cost of physical inactivity in the first ever global status report on physical activity.
We know that being active is good for us. The World Health Organization's global report on physical activity is out now, and let me tell you, it's a bit of a wake-up call. Oh! Progress is too slow. It's uneven and unfair.
It's because of significant gaps in policy implementation.
Exactly. But let me show you what things could look like with a few changes. Look around. People are active everywhere. Keep moving, everyone. You're doing great. We hear about the benefits of physical activity all the time. We encourage walking and cycling for transport and fun. Look at these streets. They're designed for all people.
Whatever your speed or ability.
When we say physical activity keeps you healthy, we really mean it. Schools encourage physical activity every day, and it stays with us for life. Physical activity guidelines and targets are set to drive policy. That's a bit literal, but nice shot. So I know what you're probably wondering.
How can this become a reality?
Great question. Governments need to see the value in physical activity. They need to prioritize it, fund it, engage with local communities, and collaborate with partners. Invest in best practices to implement new policies. And use data to drive decisions. We need to come together to increase physical activity and improve our health, which can save us $27 billion every year. Enabling physical activity is an investment, and it pays off. This should be the reality everywhere. The choice is ours.
It's now time for the first episode of PBCJ's monthly feature, Community Heroes. This month, we are featuring Mark Anthony Myrie, popularly known as Buju Banton.
We were taught to get up on a bus and give an elderly person a seat. We were taught the basic fundamentals of discipline. Excuse me, I'm sorry, you know, and certain etiquette that helps you to get along. It's not present. Maybe it is, but it's not being displayed. So there's this callous nature and this callous approach. Everything is a nail, and they see themselves as a hammer. With this mindset, we have what we have now. But how can we break this mindset? By showing more love, by being the opposite of what they're thinking. And for far too long, nothing has changed in Jamaica. Our garrisons are still the same because they serve a political purpose. Poverty is still the same because when people are hungry, they're easily manipulated. Our education system now is even worse, you know. So the youths, them, I would say, we have to take up the mantle as individuals in the community and as people who can to make a difference. We have to endeavor. What about the at-risk boys? They do receive stuff, yes, but in what capacity? Because when I went and I did my groundwork to see who we are going to adopt under the Buju Banton banner, and I went and I did the groundwork myself, and we look. We say these places, the boy, them want mentoring, they want skill training, they want help. You know what I mean? Everybody can't come be a singer and a DJ, you know.
There's a saying that goes, to whom much is given, much is expected. And Mr. Myrie is urging other artists who have been successful to pay it forward.
If everyone of my DJ virgin them, or my singer virgin them, decide say, we could come together and do something. For the same people them who would have buy a bread and say, no, I'm not buy the bread, I'm going to buy the ticket for go see the concert. I could give them back something from Yassa. You know? So when I go there, I see the youth, them, my heart reach out.
Sunbeam at this time is caring for more than 60 boys. They are not all in residence, but cumulatively, we are caring for about 60 boys. A couple of years ago, Mr. Myrie visited the home, and we were discussing how he could support us. And out of those discussions, he committed to seek funding so that we could do a social enterprise. That was the idea at the time. Well, he then entered the JCDC festival competition, and he won. And so his prize money of $3 million was given to Sunbeam.
The Buju Banton Foundation provides skills training and educational opportunities for youth, with immense emphasis on at-risk males, ages 8 to 18.
With the $3 million win from the festival competition by donating it to the boys' homes, and they went ahead and they did some wonderful things. They bought fowls and them have egg and them grog and all kind of back and all over there. And them do well. Then Mount Olivet Boys Home, with the help of Kanye West, we were able to give them computers. And with the help of Kanye West again, I was able to give the Sunbeam Boys Home computers as well. And we donate shoes from Puma to these boys, make sure that they you know, we could donate clothes and back to school items, food items. We donate fire extinguishers.
The cube needed some repairs, so some of that money was used to repair the cube, and some was used to purchase layers. So I think we purchased about almost 500 layers. That's 2 years ago. And I'll have you know that today we picked up about 6 flats of eggs from those same layers. If you go to the gate right now, there's a young man there selling eggs from that project.
When it comes to boys, giving them tools is not enough. Effective reasoning is important.
I will create a workshop for the boys, yes, with one called this professor from University of the West Indies, Kadamawe Knife, and he's a lecturer at university, and Mr. Aubrey Stewart, the Chief of Security, National Security, and the workshop was centered around education, character, and discipline, and the importance of these things, yes? Various workshops, music instruments were donated, and the most important thing right now for me is one of the series that we have called Define the Odds. Define the Odds not only bring about people who are faced with challenging circumstances, but people who have also surmounted them, and who's then able to look back and offer a roadmap to these young men and to anyone who wishes to partake about how to avoid various pitfalls and how to, you know, give them great solutions.
Why only boys?
There's a perfect opening for some female entertainers or some female to go and adapt the same policy that I adapt for strengthening each other. And this is how we help each other. Now, it brings me great delight and joy to see the youth them from the boys' home come to see I am and bring something with them make with them own hand. It worth so much and means so much to me because it come from a place of love. Them never have to. Them could have been like the other person in the street who just take and don't remember until they're hungry again.
The music industry in Jamaica, it's huge, it's very big. Sorry, but a lot of what I hear is not very inspirational and not helping our youths. As a matter of fact, one could argue that it has contributed to the decay in values and morals. Mr. Myrie is an exception because he doesn't do only conscious music or a great part of it, but at least he has adopted 2 boys' home, ourselves and Mount Olivet. And he has invested in these homes. Investing in the homes is investing in the youth. Investing in the youth is investing in the society. Investing in the society is investing in the world. I don't see any other way. So, big up Buju.
And it's now time for the business report with Danita Rodney.
While delivering a monetary policy statement during a recent meeting of the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives last week, Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Richard Bowles, says the BOJ continues to use a 3-pronged approach to address high domestic inflation.
Since October of last year. 2, the provision of US dollar liquidity support to the foreign exchange market to foster stability in the exchange market. And 3, ensuring the maintenance of tight Jamaica dollar liquidity conditions in the money market.
Governor Bowles continues his statement by explaining the bank's objective with this approach.
This package of mutually reinforcing policy measures are meant to achieve the following outcomes. Firstly, to cause interest rates on deposits and loans in the financial system to rise, which will then encourage savings and discourage borrowing in Jamaican dollars and help to manage aggregate spending in the economy. 2, it will make savings in Jamaican dollars more attractive relative to foreign currency assets, and thus help to maintain the stability of the exchange rate. 3, the timely sale of foreign exchange to the market when there are temporary gaps between supply and demand is also aimed at stabilizing the market, while at the same time preserving the government of Jamaica's flexible exchange rate system. Selling US dollars also removes Jamaican dollars from the financial system, which causes a premium to be placed on Jamaican dollar liquidity by the participants in the system and reducing demand-induced inflationary pressures. 4, the use of open market operations, which involves Bank of Jamaica issuing certificates of deposits to banks, removing liquidity from the system and causing money market interest rates to rise and therefore influencing inflation downwards.
Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Monday, December 19, the US dollar sold for an average of $153.70. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $112.46. The pound sterling traded for $186.89, and the euro sold for $163.90. In GSE trading, the GSE index declined by 107 points. The junior market index declined by 37 points. The combined market index declined by 444 points. And the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by 725 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 111 stocks, of which 33 advanced, 60 declined, and 18 traded firm. Stocks advanced for Burrito Investments Limited, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited, and Carreras Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, and Virgin Paints Jamaica Limited. Trading firm were 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Variable Preference, Access Financial Services Limited, and Elite Diagnostic Limited. The overall volume leaders were Regency Petroleum Company Limited with over 18 million units, Wigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares with over 2 million units, and Foswich Company Limited with over 1 million units. In regional stocks, on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, Clico Investment Fund was the volume leader with over 50,000 shares, followed by Calusa Macro Index Fund with a volume of 348 shares being traded. Zero securities were traded on the Barbados Stock Exchange. In regional business, UNICEF Belize and DigiWallet Limited have formally signed a contract signaling the modernized provision of cash transfers to beneficiaries as part of social assistance. During the ceremony, DigiWallet manager Melanie Blake shared a few words on the journey to ensure efficient and accessible finance.
This partnership commences with the Cash Plus pilot to distribute cash to vulnerable migrant communities. As a payment service provider, we understand the importance of providing safe and accessible finance services to all individuals, regardless of their location or financial status. We are thrilled for the opportunity to partner with UNICEF to support migrant communities by providing them with the necessary financial resources to survive and thrive in our beautiful country. Through this partnership, we will be able to leverage our digital payment platform to quickly and efficiently distribute cash to those in need. Our platform allows for fast and secure transaction, ensuring that the fund reach the intended recipients quickly without any loss or theft. In addition to providing financial support, we will be working closely with the UNICEF to sensitize migrant communities on the importance of financial literacy and the benefits of using digital payment solutions. We believe that providing access to financial services and education, we can help empower these communities and provide them with the tools and information they need to succeed. We are grateful for this opportunity to work with UNICEF and are committed to doing our part to support families and children and to support financial inclusion in Belize.
In market data for oil prices rose, supported by a softer dollar and the U.S. plan to restock petroleum reserves, but gains were capped by uncertainty over the impact of rising COVID-19 cases in top oil importer China. Brent crude futures were up 33 cents at $80.13 a barrel, and West Texas Intermediate crude rose 57 cents to $75.95. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news in Barbados, children are being encouraged to be careful of what they post on social media. The caution came from Sergeant Kim Harris of the Juvenile Liaison Scheme, and we have more from CBC News.
She says it's particularly important now with them on Christmas holiday and likely spending more time online unsupervised.
Don't take pictures that can suggest where you live. Don't take pictures that could suggest your school or even your friends, because when you do this, you place yourself at risk of sharing a lot of very sensitive information.
Sergeant Harris is also warning young people about the dangers of taking or sharing inappropriate photos online.
Sometimes persons ask you for pictures of yourself. And you have to be very careful of the pictures that you're sending out. Even as adults, we have to be careful. And in Barbados, you're really a child until you have attained the age of 18. So no one, and you yourself, should not be taking inappropriate pictures of yourself. And when we speak of inappropriate pictures, we're looking at pictures where we can see your private parts, or suggestive pictures, because this is basically child pornography.
UNICEF Belize and the Embassy of Japan have partnered together to improve the country's health sector. We hear from a representative for UNICEF Belize and the Embassy of Japan on this latest donation and its significance in Belize's health sector.
For us as UNICEF, primary health care is fundamental to the work that we do. The health and well-being of mothers, children, newborn, adolescents, and young people are key to any country's national development. Without critical investment in our health care, national development remains elusive. This has been a long journey, and I really want to appreciate the partnership and the confidence of the government of Belize and the Embassy of Japan for identifying UNICEF as a key partner in ensuring that we can maintain those significant gains that we have made over the years.
Although the cases of the COVID-19 have dropped in Belize, but still it continues to be a global threat. The pandemic continuously presents great challenge to the already strained healthcare system in Belize. That is why we have to remain vigilant and take precautionary measures to protect our health and our loved ones. Needless to say, it is very important to ensure and promote equitable access to vaccines throughout the world in order to overcome COVID-19 pandemic. To assist in the efforts to tackle COVID-19, the government of Japan has made significant contributions to Latin America and Caribbean, including Belize.
In international news, the U.S. Congressional Panel investigating last year's attack on the U.S. Capitol building has called on the Justice Department to bring criminal charges against former President Donald Trump. The unprecedented move follows an exhaustive 18-month investigation into his role in the January 6 riot.
It was the committee's 11th and final public hearing. The intention to summarize its full report that will be made public on Wednesday and to highlight its belief that the former president's actions were criminal.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
A video presentation served as a reminder of the events on January the 6th, 2021, and further extracts from some of the hundreds of interviews the committee conducted in an attempt to find out what happened and how to prevent it happening again.
There's one factor I believe is most important in preventing another January 6th: accountability.
And the committee made clear its opinion Trump must be held accountable and will send a letter to the Justice Department outlining its reasons for recommending criminal prosecution.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, there are 9 ayes and 0 noes.
The motion is agreed to.
The Justice Department has so far prosecuted more than 900 people in relation to the events of January the 6th, and to date, some 300 have been found guilty on the first charge recommended against Donald Trump, obstruction of official proceedings. The Justice Department is conducting its own investigation into attempts by Donald Trump to overthrow the results of the 2020 election, and the committee hopes that its findings will provide a roadmap to the special counsel who's in charge of that process. The committee has also recommended that the actions of several Republican members of Congress be referred to the Ethics Committee for defying subpoenas, including 2 who will be vying for the House Speaker position when the new Congress convenes next month. But with the Republican majority in the House, that recommendation is unlikely to be accepted. And any decision to attribute accountability for the insurrection now lies solely with the Department of Justice. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
In our sporting look today, according to one study, Qatar faced an unprecedented campaign of negative reporting in various international media since it was awarded the World Cup. Some analysts say coverage of mega sporting events is usually negative when they happen in the global south. We have more from Al Jazeera.
It's 3:30 in the morning. Love the vibe. People have just been incredible. Never known warmth like it anywhere in the world.
This is a YouTuber on the streets of Doha describing what he saw. From TikTok to Twitter and Snapchat to Instagram, social media influencers with millions of followers from all over the world have shared similar accounts. But if one was reading newspapers and watching TV in the Western Hemisphere, the expectation would be quite the opposite. The campaign has been relentless for years. From overall migrant deaths being attributed to Qatar's World Cup, to newspapers calling the international event a moral debacle. For weeks across Europe, there was a chorus of boycott Qatar through news media, and some depicted Qatar, its people and players in Orientalist and Islamophobic tropes. One study showed that 66% of the articles in mainstream UK media since Qatar was awarded the World Cup were negative. The FIFA president called it hypocrisy.
I think for what we Europeans have been doing in the last 3,000 years around the world, we should be apologizing for the next 3,000 years.
And that's the news on PBCJ. I am Maya Chung. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.